Hey guys, this is Nick. Welcome to my channel, my video babies. I am back with another hit banger. You guys know what I'm about to do, right? I know what you did last summer, movie review. Now, I'm going to tell you guys how I feel about this movie. I literally saw it yesterday. Be honest with you guys, I wasn't going to do this movie review or see the movie because I felt like this movie should be like a series more than a movie. I seen the original, the original OG movie starring Jennifer Love Hewitt, Freddie Prinze Jr. and Sarah Michelle Gellar. I seen the OG movie. The second movie, I seen it too with Brandy and and Jack Black as the white Jamaican. I did not enjoy that one, but the first movie I did. After that, a few years went by. Then they decided to do I think I Know What You Did Last Summer series. So I rather see that than this movie. I wasn't gonna watch the movie at all, but I just felt like it was yesterday. I was bored. I wanted to watch a movie, and I was scrolling down, and that's the first image I saw. So I said to myself, you know what? I want to kill time. Why not just spend a whole hour and 43 minutes on this movie? So I said, okay, let me watch the movie. I saw the movie, and now I'm going to brutally tell you guys how I feel about the movie. Be honest with you, I was surprisingly shocked that this movie was that good. The reason why I'm gonna reveal it because in the end, the big reveal of who's the killer is, I was surprised at how they did it, but I'm going to tell you how I feel about this movie, that, stuff that I didn't like and stuff that I did like. Now, first of all, the stuff that I didn't like outweighs the stuff that I did like. So I'm going to talk to you guys about stuff that I did not like. First of all, I thought this movie was kind of like a remake. I thought it was like a copy from the original movie, but I thought it was a joke. I didn't expect it to be, produced and written, all that stuff, and directed and, aired. I didn't expect that to happen. I thought it was just some kind of a Instagram post, AI type of thing. But this movie was started off the same way the original movie was. Five group of friends, I could say a group of friends, decided to get drunk and then actually cause an accident. Then they started to hide, and then all of a sudden the person who they thought they died came back and started torturing these guys one by one by killing them. So that's why I didn't like this movie, because it felt like to me like it was a remake. But if it was a remake, I felt like the reason why I didn't like it because the OG cast members, Jennifer Love Hewitt's character Julie, and Freddie Prinze Jr.'s character Ray, wasn't supposed to be in this movie. It made it feel so weird. A group of kids. I can't say a group of kids. A group of grown-ups. Danica, Ava, Milo, Stevie, and Teddy was a group of kids. A group of people who caused an accident. On the 4th of July. It seems that Danica and Teddy's engagement party, they decided to have a group of friends, come all together and see the fireworks. And it also caused an accident by Teddy playing chicken with a car in the middle of the road that caused an accident. And they all decided to, to push that to the side and act like they didn't was involved. That caused the guy to come out of nowhere a year later and start torturing the guys one by one, just like the OG movie. The reason why I didn't like that movie because of that. Because I felt like it should. In the big reveal of who's the killer is, it felt like two different types of movies. I felt like it should have been this type of way first. I will tell you how I feel, how this movie should have gone. But Ava character, she was the only one. Well, I can't say the only one was, feeling guilty about it, but she was the main person who wanted to call the police. But something happened to her, and not happened to her physically, but it happened to her mentally, that she felt like she needed to be punished, even though that she did something bad. That's why she started doing these sexual, different things, like she want to be choked and stuff, and then not tortured, but she just wants to feel something, that she did something wrong, that and she was the only one. And I felt like Danica, her best friend. See, when after the whole incident happened, they jumped into a year that really didn't make any sense to me. That I know how people work. I don't know how that works, but I know you noticed this too. A year went by, her and Teddy had an engagement party, but then a year later, I think 12 months and a half, it happened around that time, they decide to call it quits. And a year later, she decides to marry another guy she just met a year. Like I would understand the movie more. It was like 2 or 3 years later, but everybody lived their different lives after that incident. Ava went her own way, stayed away from Danica, and I guess she got away from Southport and lived her life. But she didn't feel, she didn't, none of them. It was kind of like just trying to bury what happened, and they just live their life without talking to each other or somebody. I get it. I wouldn't do the same thing too if I killed somebody, and I at least talk to somebody. But they didn't. They all lived their lives and everything. Now the hook man came back and murdered his first victim, and when it was Danica's fiance. Now, I feel like Danica's character was like, she was some brave and also stupid in the same time to me. Her character was stupid. Like, her fiance dies, and then all of a sudden the next person who dies was the the girl that Ava met in the airport. She dies, and then all of a sudden, the guy who worked in the cemetery, he dies. Everybody around them dies. Now, this is the dumbest part. Now, if I'm Danica and my fiance died, I would not go to the same place the killer was killed my fiance in, or I would not hide anywhere, like basically anywhere in my friend's home or any place that I think the serial killer would know I'm at. They all hid they hid in home. Like, Danica fiance died, so she decided to have all her friends going, I think her friend Ava and Milo, into the guest room. Like, dude, go somewhere. But no, in this whole entire movie, I was yelling like, yo, why none of them got a weapon or anything? Why nobody had a police escort, don't they realize that they are the main people this killer's going after? Like, where is the support of the police? None of them happened. That's why I was so pissed off in this movie. Now, Ava to feel like, she needs to do some investigation. The girl she met in the airport who does a podcast, she was talking about 30 years ago, Julie and Ray had to go to the same, similar thing, the guy with a hook, and I know what you did last summer notes. And if Ava decided to go out and find Julie, and Julie sat there, she asked her one little question. She said, "What did you do?" Right? Now, this Julie's character in this whole entire movie, I felt disappointed. Like, she didn't do anything in this whole entire movie but drink wine, look at her phone to see if nobody's going to murder her, and look at her computer. That's all she did. And to me, I mean, I understand. They shouldn't be in this movie. I'm being real with you. They shouldn't have been in this movie, her and Ray. But to see, that's the stuff that I didn't understand. Like the scene in the cemetery, they were trying to look up the Sam character, the person who was in the accident, who died. They was trying to find out who he is and stuff like that, and they found out there was fresh flowers in his cemetery, his grave, and Danica noticed it was a camera there, so she worked her way to the guy who worked in the cemetery to help her, find the footage of who's the person who did it, could possibly be the killer. So he ends up dying, and Teddy and Danica in the freaking cemetery. The dumb stuff start happening. They just started to split up in the dark in the cemetery, not knowing that there's a killer. And then all of a sudden the killer comes out and trying to kill Danica, and Teddy comes to save the day. See, stuff like that is so stupid to me. Like, I was still like, I'm looking in the movie like this. Really? killer's going really after you. And now the killer goes around, he kills Milo, he kills Teddy, and he kills everybody around him but Danica and Ava. I feel like this movie was kind of like, if I had to rate this movie, because it felt like it was two parts of a movie, and I felt like one part, I could say I could rate two of them. The first part of the movie, I felt like it's a 4, and the last part, the big reveal, is it gave it a 10. It gave it a reason why this movie was good. You know what I mean? Like, I didn't at first. The stuff that I did like in this movie was the big reveal. Like at first, the big reveal was the killer was Stevie, because she knew Sam, and I guess Sam stole a car just to see Stevie because he was afraid that she might relapse because what happened to her years ago because her friends pushed her to the side. So she felt like she was gonna, he felt like that she was gonna come and relapse again. And so when the odds in that they was in the middle of the road and he was in, and then he dies, So she went out on a rampage, killing her friends because they killed him, the only person that she cared about. So she had hatched a plan. And at first I said to myself, there was this movie is kind of getting stupid now. But then all of a sudden, Julie on her computer looks up and she noticed Ray hanging out with Stevie, knowing that, Stevie and Ray was at first I thought that was supposed to be her father, but it was not. He made a promise to her father that he would look after her. So he really did look after her. So he was her partner, and the whole scene, the big reveal scene where Stevie, Danica, and Ava and Ray was in a boat. Stevie stabbed Danica in the chest really hard and tossed her in the water. Ray shoots her in the shoulder and she falls in the water. Now that's when Ray becomes the big reveal, like he's the killer. Now I'm saying to myself, yo, now I understand. I mean, it's copying it from the 30 years ago. Like he wrote the same notes. He killed all those people. Now he explained why he was doing it because 30 years ago, nobody cared about them. Nobody cared. They pushed it to the side like there was nothing, he felt like. And he just felt like he needed to come up in Southport and he need to show the people that they're crazy. Which, by the way, I felt like, why do all the killing just to prove a point? It's a murder out there. It didn't make any sense. But I guess he did it his way, and he felt like, if I did the same thing they did 30 years ago, they will actually pay attention this time. But he was trying to frame Julie that she's a killer, but all of a sudden he ends up dying. Now this part was the one stuff I hate too. Danica ends up alive. The people who I think deserve to die was just Teddy, because he's the one who started all this, hanging out in the middle of the street, playing chicken with a car, that caused all the accidents. So I felt like his death and his father's death scene was kind of justified. Whoever did the killing, I don't know if it was Ray who did it or Stevie did it. Whoever the one who did it was justified. If it was Stevie, she got her revenge for what Teddy did with Sam. And if it was Ray who did the killing of Teddy and her father, he did a blessing for Stevie. He did, he helped her out. Now, Ava and Stevie, not Ava and Stevie, Ava and Danica's alive after she got stuck with a hook. I don't know how she survived that. She was just walking out of her and Ava just walking out of the hospital all with their damage wounds and stuff. And like, Ada got with a broken arm. Ava was like, they were drugged out. Talking about how they was hungry and they sat in the beach, started eating. This was a part where I didn't like at all. They were sitting there talking about how Ava said this. She said it could have been all avoided if Ray's character was in therapy. Basically he went to therapy. And all of a sudden, Ava and Danica start talking about how I love you, my best friend, whatever. But then all of a sudden the movie goes off and she said, oh, I forgot, Stevie's still alive. I'm like, but you dumb mother, she's going to come out and kill you. Even though everybody knows she's the killer. The cops are searching for her, but she's still gonna find you and kill you because y'all so dumb enough to hang out in your house. So y'all gonna get killed. So that's what made no sense in this whole entire movie to me. I'm like, yo, are you serious? that's how it was going to end. So it ended like that. I was like, yo, this movie was stupid, but Ray's character, Freddie Prinze, Freddie Prinze Jr.'s character saved the day in this movie. Sarah Michelle Gellar came in. They did a little CGI work on her, or maybe she just came in there and just did her thing. She still looked beautiful, and that was pretty cool to see that. But I felt like Ray saved the day. If he wasn't in this movie and explained why he did what he did, this movie would have sucked. That's why I gave felt like it was two movies. This movie was the half of the movie was 1. I give it a 1, and the real big reveal was a 10 for me, because that explained everything, But I don't know what else to say. But thank you guys. Thank you guys so much for joining me in this video. I want you guys to write in the comment section down below. Tell me what you guys think about this movie and what about this video. Share your thoughts as well. I feel like, Milo shouldn't die. Teddy should just die. If you're with me, hit in the comments, you know what I'm saying? But I don't know what to say, but thank you. I want you guys to hit the like button. Show you boys some love. Show you boys some love, right, guys? Till next time. See when I see you guys. Deuces.